So intuitive eating, I am a big advocate for intuitive eating. It is how, like, God wired us this way. You think of a baby, think of a toddler. They let you know when they're hungry. They let you know when they're thirsty. They let you know when they're tired. They stop eating when they're full. For the most part, there's probably exceptions. But it's something that we lose over time. I don't know if it's like the Clean Plate Club or like it's just, I don't know. I don't know what happens. We lose that intuitive structure. We lose that intuitive boundary of like, oh, I'm full, like there's no need for me to keep eating. Or, and it's not even a fullness and a hunger cue alone. Like if you, like me personally, I can tell like sometimes I crave protein or I crave something fresh. Or like we have certain cravings that if we pay attention to them, and especially pay attention to them over time, it is our body telling us what we need. And sometimes that requires us to educate ourselves on nutrition, like what foods are good for us and what nutrients are in certain foods. And I don't know, maybe some cravings, you crave something salty, you crave something sweet, you crave whatever it may be, and you learn like, oh, I think my body is craving this nutrient, so I should eat like maybe one of these foods. And for me, it's not even that deep. It's mostly just like, I'm craving protein, I'm craving carbs, I'm craving something fresh. And there is the exception of sometimes we get into a rut or a routine of eating really fatty, really salty, really sweet foods. And so we're like, oh, I'm craving a brownie, I'm craving pizza, I'm craving whatever it may be. And that's not always what our body needs. Like I am a big advocate for having treats and having pizza and just, but it's all about balance and moderation, knowing that you need to feed your body well, mostly like whole grains, fruits and veggies, lean proteins, but not even, I don't even know about lean proteins. Like I'm a fan of having cheese sticks with a snack. I don't know, it's a whole topic of discussion of making a well-rounded plate, having a well-rounded snack. That's something that is going to be nutritious but yet satisfying to you. But intuitive eating may feel weird or unordinary, especially starting out, because it's not normal. Like normal is eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, or normal is eating at 6 a.m., noon, and maybe 6, 7 p.m. And if you listen to your body, that may not be the case, and it may not be the case every single day. Like some days we're more active, and so our body may cue us to eat more, or we may have eaten a lot the day before, so we may not be hungry right away in the morning. So that doesn't mean don't eat breakfast. That just means you don't have to eat breakfast at the time when you're not hungry. We create these structures of when we should eat and what we should eat, and it's something that we've made up instead of listening to our body, eating when we're hungry, even if that's you eat something at 3 p.m. You had lunch 2 hours ago, but you're hungry again. Like, it may be unusual, and people may comment on it, like, didn't you just eat? Or like, are you still hungry? Like, how are you still hungry? Like, there may be comments like that. But the thing is, you have to advocate for you, and you have to do what's best for you. And so oftentimes that's going to be what's not the best thing for someone else. So if you are struggling with your relationship with food, like I struggled with restrictive eating, and then that pendulum that swung the other direction into binge eating, and it's really hard sometimes to get into intuitive eating when you're struggling with binge eating, because binge eating, you aren't listening to your hunger cues necessarily. Sometimes you binge because you waited too long to eat, so now you're super hungry and you start eating and you eat and eat and you just can't bring yourself to stop. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why that may be. But it's something worth looking into and pursuing, and it's so worth it to not be a slave to constructs of when you should eat and what you should eat, and do what's best for your body. Learn about some nutrition and practice intuitive eating. And you're not going to be perfect right away. It's a journey of relearning how you ate when you were a baby, when you were a toddler. It is a journey because, I mean, it's super easy to, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. It's more difficult to be like, okay, I'm full, I'm going to stop. Especially if you're eating like something that you only get every once in a while and it's super delicious and you just want to make the most of it. And that can be hard, but it's so worth it for your health. And then, that was my last point on my little post-it note. But again, intuitive eating, even if you are not struggling with your relationship with food, I think looking into intuitive eating and getting back to intuitive eating the way we were wired, listening to our body. Your body is very intelligent. It doesn't always lie to you. Sometimes it lies to you. But regardless, your body will tell you when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, when you're tired. And there are so many health benefits of listening to that instead of just forcing food upon yourself or abstaining from food for unhealthy reasons. So, intuitive eating, look into it. Big advocate for it. It's not always easy, but I think it's very worth it. It's something that I am trying to practice, and I'm not perfect, but I keep working at it.